Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John's Reports for the 5th of April. And, well, yesterday was just kind of blah. Didn't have a whole lot of movement. And we were expecting a little softness with the breakdown of the steel coming underneath here with the cyan and the orange breaking above. But we didn't have green below red. So it wasn't a short signal per se, as much as just the precursor warning that you're going to get a little softness. And we're now starting to see the Azure rise. So that's going to be a few days out before those two start to meet, which would really be the beginning of where you would be like, okay, now I've got to really focus on whether or not we're going to be breaking any supports or doing something like that. For now, it's a continuation because you still have cyan fading within this, which is no short activity. So as long as that's the case, it's strong. Same thing here in NASDAQ. I mean, that spread is just phenomenal. No objections whatsoever. The euro, of course, doing exactly what we thought, not a whole lot of anything. Finally get a little bit of that orange dipping, but it didn't do enough. And without the steel reset, now look at the difference between that steel not breaking down below, and then you go back and you look at what happened on the ES, and you clearly can see the reset of the steel. So even within a DLC spread short signal or anything, you're going to have a complete reset of short-term buyers that they've completely reset. So that just means there's plenty of availability. And look at the time of the month. Combined with that, yeah, there's a lot of opportunities still available. Gold within its weakness, still holding on. We're not getting any support from steel. Certainly don't have any turnaround from green. Of course, we're getting to an oversold point where we might actually see a little pop, just because when you reach that minus 23 range, you tend to get it. But we're below the red line on this, so even with these pops back up, you're still going to get pullback going into same lows. From an intraday standpoint, we had, I think, decent ranges. I should have marked this DSC spread as it showed up right here. A little bit of a weak one, because at this I wasn't expecting a whole lot from it when it happened, because again, I would have liked to have seen clean steel above cyan. They met, rejected, still good enough, and you were above zero, so I needed that red moving lower, which it started to do right at the same point the cyan moved under, so boom, right in there. And it was actually still a pretty precipitous decline from there. It wasn't bad. It went from the 82s all the way down to the 75. So, by any means a huge range, but much better than you might expect from that signal, because you didn't get the turnaround until right over here at the 23% when the steel crossed back above, and of course produced the return setup right. Having dipped below that red line over here, we had the natural retrace down to it, off of immediate weakness. The turn down here, so when we had this dip here of the orange, this is what I point out a lot, where we meet the cyan and green, and then when the rejection came, wasn't really interested in getting that at this particular level. I was looking for, potentially to reach the zeros, and ended up making a newer low. I wasn't too concerned about it, because I'm still interested in this setup, having dipped around. It's just a matter of waiting for that yellow to get back over magenta. And then we ended up with the dip of the orange right back over here, just over the 23%. And that led to the end of day rally that just took us right back up, pretty close to the highs of the day. So all in all, it was just a range day. I mean, when you look at it from the previous range bar, 2870, 2880 is the same ranges we've been talking about. Nothing's changed. The fact that we couldn't get all the way down to that 2870 shows that there was enough active interest to really support it prior to that. That's always an interesting one to note, because it makes a difference. It's letting us know where they're like, well, as it gets close to that, I'm considering that a discount. If they're considering that a discount before they're buying, then you know that they're not expecting there's much supply, even right below that they're going to try to drive down and get. So that's a little bit of a tell. Looks like the 2880 is going to be that focused all the way up. And again, once we're at this level, the expectation was always that we were going to be making it towards the 29. So we'll see if it's able to continue that push. This little lull, there should be plenty of resources available for them if they're going to make it happen. We'll keep an eye out for it, and if anything unique happens, we'll certainly be putting it up there. We're right in the middle of a nice run from the gold. Azure's starting to climb, so they may reach here another bar or two in this after-hour session. We'll be able to follow that along. I'll probably post it before, I will before the open, long before the open. So, as always, though, trade well, and we will definitely talk again later.